It is now 6:36 p.m. and we are calling to order the business meeting for the Citywide Council for District 75. Are we ready for a roll call?
Yes.
Councilmember White, you have the floor.
Rebecca Alley. Present. Masuma Akhtar. Present. Chrissy Angel.
Present online.
Stephanie Bonilla. Joanna Gomez.
Present.
Elijah Hobbs. Jessica Rivera. Giselle Ramirez.
Present.
Sharon Stewart and Michelle White present. So we have 6. Is that quorum?
That is quorum, and we are able to move forward with our meeting. Council members, you do have the agenda set before you. Do we have any amendments that we want to add into the agenda before we start? If not, let's move forward, guys, with the rules of decorum in brief. We're moving through our business meeting into our calendar meeting. Members, we do have 2 minutes to speak the floor, ask the questions, etc. This will be the same moving into Q&A. We want to make sure that our items are very business focused. We want to protect privacy when we do get to Q&A. So parents, please do make sure that we do not give out any identifying information. Do send that information to email when it is the appropriate time. Also, please forgive the snoring baby in the background. I'm a mama getting the work done. All right, guys. Do we have a timekeeper for our agenda? We do have timed items, so if someone would be able to put a stopwatch to that to make sure that we get everybody in and out. If somebody's willing to flag me and keep eyes, that will work as well.
This is Joanna Gomez. I'll do it, President Angel.
Thank you so much, VP Gomez. Guys, we did have Deputy Chancellor Christina Fody coming today. Unfortunately, she was unable to join, but trust and believe, she has us all the way down like 10 for flat tires. It's good. So we're going to make sure that we can try to get her in either in January, February, or at minimum move through Susan Chez and or Chief Andy Corso that's in the building to make sure that if you guys have any questions, considerations, or things that we need to uplift to Deputy Chancellor Fody, that we do so. Please know her door is always open. She is an extraordinary teammate. With that being said, we do have presenters from the Office of Language Accessibility. I would like to uplift you to panelists. I am not sure who may be our speakers for tonight. If you are a speaker, could you please raise your hand in the chat? All righty, I am seeing no hands raised. We did have to reschedule this for this meeting, but human things happen. So we are going to, if the council is of the same mind, we'll go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda as we do not have the presenters present. Is everyone in agreement?
Yeah. Yes.
Wonderful. Gabrielle, just double check in.
Can interpretations give their
Yes, let's pause. Thank you for that, Gabrielle, for catching. I am literally moving at Speedy Gonzalez pace. Forgive me. This meeting is being interpreted in Spanish, in Mandarin, and Bengali. Interpreters, you now have space to give your instructions. Spanish, you have the floor.
The following message will be in Spanish. Buenas noches a todos. Para conectarse a la línea en español, marque desde su teléfono 347-966-4114 e introduzca el código 818 270-133, signo numeral. Favor de mantener sus micrófonos cerrados para evitar el sonido de fondo y así poder obtener un mejor sonido. Gracias. Spanish announcement has been completed.
Thank you so much, Mandarin interpreters. You now have the floor to give your instructions.
Thank you. The following is in Mandarin. 今天我们的会议有国语的翻译专线热线我们的电话是347-966-4114，我们的 ID 号码是121-626-915井号。重复一次，国语的热线是347-966-4114，ID 号码是121-626-915井号。Mandarin announcement completed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bengali. You now have the floor to give your instructions.
Thank you. The message will be for Bangla participants. আপনারা যারা আজকে অনুষ্ঠানটি বাংলা শুনতে চান তাদের ফোন থেকে ডায়াল করবেন 347-966-4114 কনফারেন্স আইডি চাইবেন 864-308-078 আবার বলছি 34966-4114 এবং কনফারেন্স আইডি দিবেন 864-308-078 আপনাদের কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকলে ফোন লাইনে আমাদেরকে প্রশ্নটি করতে পারেন, অন্য কোনো ব্রোকারে মিউট করে রাখবেন। থ্যাংক ইউ। বাংলা অ্যানাউন্সমেন্ট ইজ কমপ্লিট।
Thank you so much, interpreters. If you could make sure to put your information to the chat for the future members or attendees that are now present. Thank you so much. I do want to give a huge thank you to the district. We are having a gratitude day today. They did have our members join. We were able to have a great dinner together. I was together in spirit. They allowed my dinner to come to home for my child and I. So thank you for how you are supporting our council, for giving us space and gratitude to share and keep collaborating together. So thank you, Satya. Thank you, Nora. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you, Nadira. Thank you, Superintendent, IA Superintendent McCoy. Thank you, Andy. We do appreciate the work that you're doing. And Chef Patrick, we will not forget you. Thank you very, very much for this space. I do love watching my council be so happy in this moment, so I'm feeling it through the screen. Are we ready to move forward, council members, into our next space? It would be for our vacancy interviews. Gabrielle, did we confirm or do we have either candidate present in person to interview?
No, nobody is here.
Council members, are we okay to postpone further interviews for next month?
Yes, we are.
Okay, wonderful. We will, Gabrielle, please note that we're going to move the vacancy interviews to next month, and we will push that notice out again to make sure we have additional candidates to fill the next space in the council. Additionally, while we're talking about vacancies, guys, we do have a student member that is legally supposed to be a part of our board. And I was talking to IA Superintendent McCoy, and she is eagerly looking for a student to join our council. It has been a while. The last time that we have had a student was a couple of years ago, but I will uplift council member Rivera, has worked with some of our busing students with our busing committee before in last year. So we have engaged in our students, but having a student voice would be extraordinarily impactful. So please do know that is in the works. Now, with that said, we have a little bit of time where we can now run through some of our resolutions. Now, there are edits that may be needed. That's okay. There's work that can still be done as we edit these resolutions and or move forward. With that being said, there is a resolution that was submitted to us for the renaming of P753. Recording Secretary White, would you be able to read the resolution?
That's number 24, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Resolution for the name change of PS3K. Whereas the Citywide Council for District 75 is the duly authorized public body representing families of students with disabilities citywide and is responsible for advising and commenting on matters of significance affecting District 75 schools. And whereas PS3K, District 75 program designation 75K053 is an existing school that has previously operated without an official school name. And the establishment of a formal name is necessary for identity, culture building, and alignment with Chancellor's Regulations A860. And whereas the proposed name, Dominic Della Roca School for the Arts, reflects the school's mission and vision to cultivate creativity, inclusion, and artistic development among District 75 students. And whereas the Parent Association, Parent Teacher Association of PS3K has been consulted in accordance with Chancellor's Regulation A860, attachment number 1 and number 3, and minutes of the PA/PTA meeting reflect discussion of and support for the proposed naming. And whereas Superintendent Dr. Keisha McCoy has reviewed, endorsed, and signed the name request, and Principal Heather Lakem has submitted the required documentation demonstrating full administrative support. And whereas the naming request complies with all required components of Chancellor's Regulations 860, including consultation, documentation, and submission procedures. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Citywide Council of District 75 hereby approves and supports the official naming of PS3K as the Dominic Della Roca School for the Arts. Be it further resolved that the resolution shall be transmitted to the Division of Family and Community Engagement, the Office of Student Enrollment, the Superintendent, and the school principal to complete all requirements under Chancellor's Regulations 860 for formal adoption and public posting.
Thank you so much, Councilmember White. Do we have a motion to approve resolution number 24?
President Angel, before we motion to approve resolution 24, can we propose adding acting or interim before Dr. Keisha?
Yes,
McCoy?
so let me walk you guys through it. So when we have a motion or when we have something before us with a resolution, we ask for a motion. Someone can motion if they approve it, someone can second that motion, and then we open the floor up to debate. We always debate, talk about, and or amend any motion before we move into vote. So there's always space for that, if that helps a little bit in how we're moving through this space.
That helped considerably. So this is Joanna Gomez again. I move to approve, well, I make a motion to approve resolution number 24. There we go.
Do we have a second to that motion?
Councilmember Masuma, seconded.
Do we have any debate?
Yes.
No.
Which council members is speaking?
So yes, on Joanna Gomez.
Vice President Gomez, you have the floor.
Yeah. So I am just proposing a minor edit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on what is the
interim acting.
Bullet point number 5, where it says, whereas Superintendent Dr. Keisha McCoy has reviewed, endorsed, and signed the naming. If we could please add the appropriate title for Dr. McCoy, it's either interim or acting superintendent at this time.
Do we have any additional, thank you so much, Vice President Gomez. Do we have any additional debate in this space?
No.
If not, Vice President Gomez, would you like to amend the resolution and motion? Resolution to amend, to vote in resolution 24 with the amendment of IA superintendent added to point number 5?
I would, yes.
Do we have a second for that motion?
Yes. Councilmember Masuma.
Thank you for continuing. That has been rightly motioned. We have debated and we now can move into a roll call vote. Recording Secretary White, if you would please.
Rebecca Alley.
Yes.
Masuma Akhtar,
Yes.
Christy Angel,
Yes.
Stephanie Bonilla, Joanna Gomez,
Yes.
Elijah Hobbs,
Yes.
Jessica Rivera, Giselle Ramirez,
Yes.
Sharon Stewart, Michelle White, yes.
The tally is
7.
7. That means that is quorum. The motion has been rightly passed. Thank you, council members, for moving resolution 24 into passing for the resolution name change of PS3K. Our next step, we're moving into our motion to approve the funds for our Toucan Owl. As you guys know, we are in a slight motion of struggle in the room. What a toucan and or owl will do. For those on the recording, our AA will pull up a visual and some information. These items give us 360 around the room, camera action and item. If someone is speaking, the camera automatically moves to them. We do not have to worry about the audio. We do not have to worry about the visuals. We do not have to worry about Zoom. Now, we can ball on a budget. Or we can get something that's really great. We have room to move. I do know that sometimes our SGO wants us to pick the cheapest option. So our AA Gabrielle has given us options that we can look through, and we can choose point A and or B, and we have the monies to move forward to purchase those items. Gabrielle, would you be able to pull that on the screen really briefly for the visual virtual people?
I'm working on that right now.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, there is a drastic difference. There is a contract for owls with the Department of Education that is $1,000. And the toucan, which does something very similar, is about $600 less. So we can take a risk and see what happens, or we can spend additional monies. As you know, we only have a specific amount of dollars that we can use. So being fiscally minded would matter. So I'm going to lean into you guys to look into the pros and cons so we make the correct decision to make sure that we can have our meetings hybridly, correctly, and within protocol and law. Is everyone able to review at least the documents that you have? Yay! I think something's coming up, Gab. There we go. So for the owl, we have pros and cons. We may not necessarily go through every single one of them, but council members, you have them in front of you. We have the 360 room coverage. It does say it's expensive. There's limitations with the mic. It depends on which rooms that we're in. As you guys can see now, we're not really in really major rooms. So this will be the gist of where we are. Even if we go to Tweed or other spaces, it won't be something massively that this owl or toucan can't support us in. It says sometimes there's mic or camera tracking errors. We have some of that with Zoom now. So that's not anything that would necessarily make me feel one way or another. So for me, I do see a owl as being a great thing. My only consideration is that it's $1,000. If we can scroll over to the toucan, Gabrielle. So the toucan, affordability, that's a pro. It has mixed reviews with the audio. I'm really big on if we have 30 days and insurance and we can give something back, to give it back. If it doesn't work, we can always figure out something that's a little bit better. At the end of the day, I know that Stephanie Bonilla, they have used an owl before. My consideration, as I have been the treasurer before of the council, is our finances. Do we want to spend $1,000 or do we want to spend $400+ to get the exact kind of service and still have monies to be able to use in other places for initiatives on the council? So with that being said, do we have any questions? Don't be eager to jump in, guys.
Are we able to change the toucan?
So that's instead of us using the that we're using now.
Say it again. Are we able to what?
So that's instead of us using the Zoom that we're using now, that's the enhanced Zoom.
Yes, the toucan, I'm going to tell you, the toucan and the owl and how they move, it's extraordinarily great. The transitions from person to person, from audio, what we're experiencing now, we will not experience anymore. We can throw the glitches to the past, and that would be absolutely wonderful. What this boils down to is if the SGOs will allow us to move in contract, they generally don't give us the issue if something is within contract. So at the secondary space is, do we want to spend $1,000 or do we want to spend $400?
We
Well, before you guys make a choice, let me just say, so where I work, I installed the Logitech Browser Pro, which is a similar conference room camera. It is 100% different experience when you're in a meeting for the people that you're with to be able to see you, for the camera to be able to recognize the faces, and the volume is absolutely amazing. So I mean, I know it's $1,000, but you guys move here. We're meeting once a month and or more. And just like all you guys at the table right now, the camera will automatically adjust itself. It'll allow the people that's on the other end to be able to see who you are, recognize you. It's almost like having a camera person that's there, that's actually controlling the camera automatically. And as far as the errors are concerned, usually there's like a little tiny remote. Like we have, like when we're doing our board meetings, I just press the button, the camera resets, and it does it again. And the moment someone starts speaking, it automatically zooms into them, or it zooms into the room itself. So you'll still be in the frame. Everyone will still be able to see you. It's just a better experience. I mean, I know the price tag is,
but it's a one-time, it's not like we have to buy it every year.
no, it's the one-time thing.
It would be a one-time purchase, and this would be something that would be legacy that the council would have moving forward, period, as long as it's not destroyed.
And it's really,
Yeah, so there you go.
it's
That's the
800.
other part of it.
And this is Councilmember Gomez. I'm with Councilmember Hobbs on this, just because we have to think long term, and we owe it to our constituents that are virtual for them to have a better experience. And then also for Miss Gabby, because she has to work with her cell phone, 2 laptops, the screen, and then make sure that we all of us
Love you, Gabby.
able to be seen. So I would go also with the more expensive and reliable product, and then later on we'll figure out how to make further adjustments to the budget.
All righty, council members, do we have any further debate on this item?
No.
Do we have a motion to approve the owl for purchase under contract for our digital needs?
I motion, Michelle White.
Do we have a second?
I'll
Approve.
second.
Owl.
Rebecca Alley will second.
May we move into a roll call vote?
Okay, Alley.
Yes.
I mean Rebecca Alley.
It's okay.
Masuma Akhtar,
Yes.
Christy Angel,
Yes.
Stephanie Bonilla, Joanna Gomez,
Yes.
Elijah Hobbs,
Yes.
Jessica Rivera, Giselle Ramirez,
Yes.
Sharon Stewart, Michelle White, yes.
Stephanie Bonilla is online.
Stephanie.
Was she online for the last one? Because I marked
No,
it as not.
she did.
Okay, that's she did.
Please note when she has arrived so we can have that recognized in our meetings accordingly for Second Vice President Bonilla. What is the tally on the vote?
Oh, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
You said, did you say 8?
It's 8.
It's 8. All right. That is quorum. That is rightly moved and approved. Thank you so much, council members, for allowing us to move actively and correctly with our hybrid meetings moving forward with the purchase of the owl. We will make sure that is on the technology line so that we can use those items within our budget. The next item that we have is motion to approve the purchase of Canvas Business. Guys, you know I am the chair of outreach. I love all things graphic, all things website, all things flyers. And as we are moving into the digital ambassador area, and as I'm helping several of you in spaces of creating your flyers and better, I want you to be able to log into Canva and have that space to do what you need, to join in with council members as a team and say, hey, can you put some eyes on this? Hey, can you help me edit? Hey, Christy, can you, however we can help you guys continue to do better and to grow and to create flyers and information for our constituents in your committees. This is where we would like to support you. With that being said, Canva Pro versus Canva Business. Currently, if many of you use Canva, you know that it's free. We, through the Department of Education, federally and otherwise, I may just be New York City, don't let me misspeak. All schools have a free Canva account. This does not allow you to do majority of the things that we like to do with our flyers, our videos, and other things that we need, even generally. So what Gabrielle has looked up is that it would cost us $750 a month to upgrade to Canva Pro. The current rate is what, $15.99, Gabrielle?
Yes.
So the base rate would be $15.99, and then we would add $750 a month for Canva Pro. If we did Canva Business, it would just be for a team of 2 people, and that's $400, which makes no logical sense. I use it every single day for 6 years. So I would say that we should use Canva Pro. And as adults, we can share the password, we can share the space, and we can be able to use and create the items that we need to do. If we do run into some kind of glitch, we can bring it up in January and or February and add spaces for additional team members if necessary. Council members, do you have any questions about what's being presented?
Yeah. No.
No, we're clear.
We do not.
Do we have anything that we're leaning toward that we want to put a motion toward?
Canva Pro,
Pro, but like the year one?
the yearly 120.
Yeah, the 120.
So Canva Pro is, what is it, $15.99 plus the $7.99?
No.
It says 120 for the full year.
Oh, 120 for the, oh yeah, never mind. 120 versus 400, that's an easy thing. So we're leaning into Pro, right?
Yeah.
Do we have a motion to purchase Canva Pro with our P card?
Elijah, I make a motion that we proceed with Canva Pro.
I second that.
Wonderful. It has been moved and it has been seconded. Do we have any further debate?
No.
With no further debate, we can move into a roll call vote. Recording Secretary White.
Rebecca Alley,
Yes.
Masuma Akhtar,
Yes.
Christy Angel,
Yes.
Stephanie Bonilla,
Can someone double check the chat? She may be there. She can't come off of mute. I see Bonilla's vote for the OWL, but I do not see her vote for the Canva Business. You may continue. Apologies. Have we gone through the full list?
Giselle Ramirez,
Present.
Present.
Stewart.
Present.
Oh, yeah.
Giselle White, yes. Oh, Elijah Hobbs,
Yes.
Joanna Gomez,
Yes.
I'm getting it together. Jessica Rivera,
Yes.
I think that Councilmember Bonilla may have come off of mute. Was that correct?
No, that was-
Yes.
Okay, yes. Was your vote a yes as well?
Yes.
Okay, we do want to make note that Second Vice
Stephanie
President
Bonilla, yes. Sorry.
Thank you.
10.
All righty, wonderful. That means we do have more than quorum. It has been moved, second, and approved. We are situated to have Canva Business. Guys, we're going to go ding, 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 winner, winner, chicken dinner. You guys know Gabrielle is in front of you. She will be able to give you the passwords and or access into Canva. If you need additional assistance, majority of you guys know to reach out to me. I will help and or walk you through it. I'm grateful that you guys have expanded this space so that we can continue learning, growth, and giving opportunity to members to create resources. Very much appreciated. Our next space, this is wonderful. This is coming from our public advocate, Elijah Hobbs. It is a motion to approve Resolution 21, ensuring respectful and legally protected accommodations for parents and caregivers with disabilities. If you would so kindly read the resolution, Recording Secretary White.
Okay, ensuring respectful and legally protected accommodations for parents and caregivers with disabilities. Whereas the NYC Department of Education and the Office of Pupil Transportation are responsible for providing equitable, accessible, and legally compliant transportation services to students with disabilities and their families, including ensuring that all caregiver-related accommodations are consistently communicated, implemented, and enforced across all DOE contracted vendors. Whereas many students in District 75 are supported by caregivers who also live with disabilities, including blindness, limited mobility, chronic illness, and other conditions protected under the Americans with Disabilities Act and Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act, and whose disability-related needs must be accommodated independently of the services provided to the child. Whereas caregivers with disabilities are legally entitled to reasonable accommodations to support their role in safely accompanying and transitioning their child to and from DOE-provided transportation services, and these accommodations must follow the caregiver and child across all school year, after school and summer programming without requiring repeated resubmission. Whereas current DOE and OPT practices often place the burden of accommodations on the child, such as assigning a transportation paraprofessional to address a need that belongs to the caregiver rather than providing the caregiver with the appropriate accommodations they are legally entitled to, creating both legal and practical conflicts if caregiver accommodations cannot be substituted with IEP services intended solely for the student. Whereas families report that accommodations for caregivers are frequently disrupted by vendor changes, seasonal transitions, summer school, or lack of internal coordination, forcing them to resubmit documentation or face unsafe conditions despite federal requirements that public entities maintain continuity of accommodations and proactively communications to any contracted personnel responsible for implementation. Whereas requiring families to repeatedly justify or reapply for the same accommodations across programs is inequitable, increases trauma, and directly contradicts federal disability rights laws by placing an unnecessary administrative burden on caregivers and creating preventable risk during transportation and transition. Yeah.
Okay. Therefore, be it resolved that the Citywide Council for District 75 urges the New York City Department of Education and the Office of Pupil Transportation to affirm the rights of caregivers with disabilities to receive reasonable accommodations in their own capacity without substituting the child support, e.g. a paraprofessional, as a workaround for unmet caregiver needs, and to recognize that caregiver accommodations must be implemented regardless of which parent or guardian accompanies the student on any given day. Second bullet point, prohibit the practice of assigning transportation paraprofessionals to compensate for failure to provide legally required accommodations to caregivers, unless the para is also a documented IEP support for the child, and ensure that the DOE clarifies this distinction to all transportation vendors during mandatory trainings. Bullet number 3. Create a centralized system that ensures caregiver accommodations requests, once approved, are proactively maintained and transferred across vendors, school years, and programs. Example, summer school and after school, without requiring resubmission, including a vendor-to-vendor electronic handoff process with mandatory confirmation of receipt. Bullet number 4, require transportation staff to follow communication protocols. For example, phone call or SMS alert at least 10 minutes prior to arrival. For families who need advance notice due to disability, and ensure this requirement is included in vendor contracts and enforced during both morning pickup and afternoon drop-off. Bullet number 6, implement standardized procedures for safe handoff at building entrances when a caregiver cannot wait curbside, with trained personnel assisting the transition, including situations where street conditions or traffic prevent the bus from pulling directly to the curb. Bullet number 7, mandate ADA and disability awareness training for all bus drivers, matrons, and vendor staff, including specific modules on caregiver accommodations and respectful communication modules on caregiver accommodations and respectful communication, RED, and require DOE to verify annually that all staff assigned to D75 routes have completed this training. Bullet number 8, establish an oversight and accountability process, including a parent-facing reporting mechanism and an annual public report detailing accommodation requests, compliance, and remediation outcomes, and requiring corrective action plans for vendors who fail to comply with ADA-related obligations. Be it further resolved that the council affirms that protecting the dignity and legal rights of caregivers with disabilities is not optional. It is a civil rights obligation, and urges DOE to institutionalize practices that respect and sustain those rights across all transportation services.
Okay, Rebecca Allen. Oh, yes.
Oh, wait, really quick question, guys. So as we move through these resolutions, we do have space where the public can give feedback. So for the next 2 resolutions, do we as a council want to read through those resolutions, and then we would get into public comment, allow people to have feedback, and before we adjourn, we vote for resolution 21, resolution 24, and resolution 23? Since these items especially affect our caregivers, do we want to read these items, move through the meeting, and then have our vote once we have the space for public feedback? We do need to make sure that is everyone in agreement?
That's too confusing. I'm getting confused.
This is Councilmember Masuma. I think we should go one at a time so the people doesn't get confused which one we were talking about.
The consideration is we're in a business meeting, and business meetings are not open to public comment. So in the calendar meeting, we can then open up to public comment, give the comment, and then vote in that meeting once we open it up to the calendar.
Okay.
So if everyone's okay, we can read for our business portion of the meeting. We will read through the resolutions that are for our parents, and in the calendar meeting before we adjourn, we will make sure to vote after we give the public a space to have feedback, because there may be some great spaces where they may be able to add in for something we may not be thinking for an edit. If not, at least we have allowed them space to say yay, nay, and or give feedback.
Okay. Okay.
Yes?
Yes, that's
In this space, before we move on, do council members want to give their feedback in this particular space before we go into calendar and go into feedback, etc.? Do we have feedback on this resolution? For myself, PA Hobbs, thank you. I know we have a lot of family members who have disabilities that are seen and are unseen. I learned that as a parent, if you do need an accommodation, that it needs to go into the IEP, especially when it's for busing, to make sure that it is under compliance and you get what you need. There are a lot of people fighting, and I am extraordinarily excited about the fight that we have in our council members and PA Hobbs, who has uplifted this space, because parents should be accommodated when it comes to their children's education in any and or every space. Does any other council member have input in this space?
I mean, this is Rebecca Alley. All I have to add, or not even add, to say is Mr. Hobbs did a great job presenting this. Very detailed, very informative. It definitely made a lot of things more clear for me to understand. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
I do not have any edits or feedback for this particular document. If council members do, now would be the space so that we can give highlight to the to the public for Q&A for what they may uplift. Is if there's no other spaces, it's a very well written document. I'm in agreement with this as we move it to the next space for calendar. Is everyone okay to move to the next resolution number 24?
25.
Which one is Aaron and Christian's bill? Jessica, Gabrielle?
25.
25. Then Gabrielle, you're gonna have to give me the agenda because I'm a little bit thrown off from our old one. Totally okay. Resolution 25. Guys, this is sponsored by myself and Council Member Jessica Rivera. We have very unique stories with District 75. My son was through COVID and better in home instruction for 2.5 years. And we went through some extraordinary difficulties. Councilmember Rivera is currently in home instruction. She has been there and has been experiencing some of the duplicate issues. These are items that we have been dealing with since our last session and iteration of the council. And moving forward, it's one of our tent poles for our goals and what we're trying to accomplish, shift, and or change. With that being said, Council Member White, and probably a couple of other people, could you help read the resolution 25 for Aaron and Christian's promise? Thank you.
Okay. A resolution of equity, oversight, and urgency in home instruction for students with disabilities. A resolution calling upon the New York City Public Schools to amend Chancellor's Regulation A-170, strengthen oversight and ensure equitable, timely, and compliant delivery of home instruction for students with disabilities, including those served by District 75. Whereas the Citywide Council for District 75 established under New York State Education Law 2590-B holds statutory authority to advise, monitor, and advocate for the delivery of mandated special education services across all instructional settings, including home instruction. And whereas home and hospital instruction, herein referred to as home instruction, is governed by Chancellor's Regulations A-170, which establishes eligibility and referral protocols for students who cannot attend school due to medical, behavioral, psychological, or physical conditions. And whereas A-170 lacks requirements that guarantee academic continuity, related service delivery, staffing protections, parent communication standards, oversight, expectations, and family support, leaving students in home instruction without the structural safeguards afforded under other Chancellor's regulations, including A-101, A-210, A-701, and A-820. And whereas systematic failures in home instruction, including delayed teacher assignment, missing or inconsistent related services, inadequate program guidance, and lack of timely communication have resulted in persistent violation of students' educational rights under IDEA Section 504 in state law. And whereas these failures disproportionately harm District 75 students with complex disabilities, deepening inequities and disrupting access to a free, appropriate public education. And whereas Aaron and Christian's promise is named in honor of two students whose lived experiences expose urgent gaps in access, compliance, equity, and protection within the home instruction system, and whose stories compel CCD 75 to take action. And therefore be it resolved that the Citywide Council for District 75 calls upon the Chancellor of the New York City Public Schools to amend Chancellor's Regulation A-170 and implement the following directives. Section 1, home instruction as a protected educational placement under FAPE. Number 1, A-170 shall be amended to explicitly state that the home instruction is an educational placement under IDEA in Section 504, and that all students receiving home instruction are entitled to FAPE, regardless of setting, duration, or modality. Number 2, A-170 shall define and clarify essential terms, including but not limited to medically necessary instruction, interim placement, timely instruction, and placement stability. Students shall not be discharged from home instruction without medical or clinical review, a parent guardian meeting, written notice of proposed changes, a transition plan ensuring continued continuity of faith and participation by the home instruction office, school of affiliation, District 75, and the CSE when applicable. Section 2, mandatory parent guide, welcome packet and orientation. Number 1, NYCPS and District 75 shall issue a standardized parent guide, welcome packet, and orientation for all families referred to or admitted into home instruction. Number 2, materials shall include plain language, explanations of the home instruction process, roles and responsibilities of NYCPS, entities, provider, assignment, workflows, attendance, rules, related service options, escalation procedures, placement, transition guidance, and complete staff contact list. Number 3, materials shall be provided electronically and by physical mail, and orientation shall be offered both virtually and in person.
Section 3, inclusion in New York City school survey and public transparency. 1, home instruction shall appear as a distinct instructional setting in the annual New York City school survey. 2, survey questions shall be developed in collaboration with stakeholders and tailored to reflect the unique experiences of home instruction families. 3, home instruction data shall be incorporated into the school quality report, school quality snapshot, and school quality dashboard. 4, the home instruction office shall publish quarterly data, including student counts, unassigned cases, staffing levels, related service provision data, timeliness benchmarks, geographic disparities, and instructional modalities. Number 5, CCD 75 shall be authorized to survey all current and recently served home instruction families and shall receive support from schools of affiliation to distribute surveys and notices. Section 4, guaranteed related services, assisted technology, and in-home supports. 1, 8-170 shall guarantee that students in home instruction receive all related services mandated in their IEP or 504 plan through in-home providers, teletherapy, school of affiliation providers, or DOE authorized pathways beyond over-reliance on RSAs. 2, students shall have access to assistive technology, AT, in-home paraprofessionals or nurses where required, and SETSS or supplemental instruction regardless of placement limitations. 3, no student shall be denied related services due to staffing shortages or modality barriers. Section 5, responsibilities of the school of affiliation. Schools of affiliation shall maintain ongoing communication with the home instruction office and families, provide curriculum, assessments, and academic support, participate in transition planning, distribute surveys and notices, and offer engagement opportunities to prevent isolation. Section 6, oversight, reporting, and accountability. 1, NYCPS and District 75 shall provide CCD 75 with quarterly reports detailing assignment delays, survey gaps, staffing efforts, communication metrics, and compliance breakdowns. 2, a home instruction accountability framework shall be established, including compliance tracking, timeliness benchmarks, equity and satisfaction metrics, and a designated CCD 75 liaison for home instruction cases. Section 7, regulatory and statutory review. 1, CCD 75 shall conduct a comprehensive review of 8-170 and relevant education law to identify gaps in enforcement, timeliness, transparency, and definitions. 2, CCD 75 shall draft and submit proposed amendments addressing timeliness, responsibilities, escalation procedures, parent notification, and public reporting. 3, CCD 75 shall recommend statutory amendments to state officials when necessary. Section 8, community integration for students on home instruction. District 75 shall design and implement strategies to maintain students' connection to their school communities through virtual virtual peer events, academic supports, and engagement opportunities. Be it further resolved that the New York City Public Schools must immediately comply with Chancellor's Regulation 8-170. Be it finally resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately upon adoption and be it transmitted to the Chancellor, the Panel for Education Policy, DSISS, District 75 Leadership, and the Home Instruction Office.
All righty, guys. Thank you so much for reading through that resolution. I know that was a lot. Here is your cheat sheet. Home instruction is not currently under compliance. Home instruction, as we know it for District 75, is regulated by Chancellor's Regulation A-170. As we have looked through that regulation, we have seen for our own selves through lived experience and through other parents that we have a lot of spaces that are out of compliance. We are moving already in this space with the district to try to see how we can get some of these spaces in compliance and or edit the the regulation, because as I was speaking with Councilmember Rivera, we aim high. We're not just going to aim down for principals, aim down for schools. We're going to aim for policies. We're going to aim for regulations, and we're going to aim for change. We're going to aim for implementation of what is supposed to be happening for compliance right now. So that is what we're saying here, is that we see what's happening. We know that it's wrong. We want to implement things that we have. There's two things that I would like to uplift, as the edits did it somehow make the place here. It says that we shall be authorized. Guys, we don't need to be authorized. We are legally mandated. So we do not ask for permission. We tell people what we are going to do. So let's just flag that and pin that in. So we do want to move out the language of shall be authorized, because we already are authorized. Additionally, we do have to remove the quality reports and school snapshots, as for some reason they are no longer doing those. So we don't want to hold them accountable to what's no longer necessary. So those are my edits there. I do appreciate you, Councilmember Rivera, for your heart. I know what you're going through. I'm wishing you the best with your student. We have your back. And I do believe in this resolution. I do believe in fighting for those families with invisible voices. We are not included in the New York City survey. The School of Authority is there. So those parents do not have voices. They don't come to workshops. They don't get Remind apps. They get lost. If you go to a hospital school and hospital instruction, and Citywide Council for District 75 is here to stop that gap. And the district is in support of that. So with that being said, do we have any more feedback on Resolution 25?
I want to know, where does it say shall be authorized, or which number?
We may have to do a control find. I think it was toward the end, but we can do a control F, and wherever it says shall be authorized, we'll remove that language, because we are authorized through Education Law 2590B. So it shall, just to strike out, shall be authorized, and to strike out quality reports and snapshots. Those would be my only edits. If we do not have any further feedback, we'll still leave this space for Q&A with parents to add feedback before we move into vote. Council members, yes, who's speaking?
Takira. Oh, sorry. I just seen that you responded to.
We're in the business.
Never mind. Sorry.
No, it's totally okay. No worries. No worries. Thank you, Ms. Coles. Council members, are we ready to go into, would it be Resolution 25? This one is pretty, guys, this one is pretty meaty. I would say we can put this on the screen. We can go through it. Councilmember Rivera has uplifted this. I will say I have not fully gone through for all of my edits. I do want to look into places to make sure that there's spaces that we aren't already doing things in the district, that we are not duplicating them, that we aren't asking for reports where we have annual reports. So this isn't a space where I myself would technically want to vote for this month. Maybe after we kind of flesh through it a little bit more for January. That's just my feedback. I do appreciate the efforts in anything that you guys uplift, so I will be quiet and allow for Resolution 25, Gabrielle, 23 to be uplifted. Thank you.
I think we should wait for this one for next, month. Is that what postponing for January?
What we can do, guys, we can put this on social media. We can put this on our website. We can put it out for wide feedback. And council members, I know that Councilmember Rivera said that she had run this past a few of you. So I'm not sure who's in the yay or nay or who still has edits, but I can only uplift my voice. We would have to move in consensus if we do postpone this for further edits to make sure that we have the strongest document possible when we do move it into vote. Do we want to read through the document now, or do we, Councilmember Rivera, do you have feedback in regard how we can share this out and or move forward? Would you like us to read this, then share it out wide, make edits, and move it into the agenda with the safety resolution that Councilmember Vice President Bonilla will be uplifting as well?
Yes, so my feedback would be, I know you wanted to propose some edits. I did previously send it to council members individually. So I think, I'm not sure if it still applies, but I think you may be the only one left to provide feedback on it. So I mean, for the parents, we can review it today. However, if you are going to make changes to it or suggest changes to it, right? If we're looking at it next month, that means it'll be something different than what we're reviewing this month, I would like the parents to give feedback, of course, because I'm always, having the parents in mind.
So with that being said, I'm not opposed to reading it. I'm not opposed to any parent feedback. I will say, as I look through it, this has about 9 different layers. And so for myself, I want to make sure as we move into advocacy, into policy, and to legislative asks, that we are not duplicating any efforts within. I know, Councilmember Rivera, you have done your due diligence, and I do want to come through it. There were a couple of places where I have not had the opportunity to add in edits. I do not want to postpone the council, but I do want to make sure that we move this document through with the best of fidelity. I do not want to hold us up, but I do want to have us in fidelity, if that makes sense. However, we do move as a unit. So council members, what say you?
This is VP Gomez. So
yes.
I'm making the suggestion for us to read it. It being the case that we read through the other resolutions that were also
yes,
in the
I agree. I agree. We should read it at minimum. Yes.
And in addition to that, we did indicate that if there's any feedback or any edits, that those things could take place after the fact, or that it could be also shared with the public at the second juncture of this meeting. So I propose that we do read through this resolution, as Councilwoman Rivera has also attempted to present this document in the previous meeting. So I think it's only right for us to read through it.
Yes, I do want us to read through it, and I do want you guys to listen to this portion, and this is not about any council member. When we have documents, you guys can't just look at it and say, this looks good. There are wording, just like as we said before, we shall be authorized. We do not need to be shall or be authorized. We already are. There is language in these documents that we need to make sure is actually correct, because we're moving this as a legislative tool. We can always write letters to emphasize how we feel, but these are legislative tools. So we want to make sure the rules are right, the laws are right, and that everything that we're requesting in these documents, either it's being done, not being done, or it's in the language that matches what our legal standard is in the law. That's my only exception. And when I saw the 9 pieces, there was no way I could go through and vet all 9 pieces and still be ready for the meeting. So that's my truth and or apologies.
Excuse me, President Angel, I just want to interject. I totally hear what you're saying. But I want to correct you as well with your language, because I know you're saying correct in terms of right correcting and so on. I hear what you're saying, but correct as to whose standard or what standard. I hear what you're saying, but I do want to make you a little bit aware.
Granted, I do hear you there. We can remove the word correct. We want to use the standard language and the best practice language that is in black and or white, with regulations and or better with the law.
Effective. Essentially, we want our results.
Order, please. I haven't given you the floor. I can give you the floor back in a moment, but we do want to make sure that we have the correct language as we move through the document. Councilmember Rivera, you do now have the floor. Councilmember White, I don't, Councilmember Rivera, you muted and unmuted. Are you, did you have further to say before we went through reading the document?
No, I'm glad
Yes,
to
no, I'm deferring back. I already made my comment, right, in terms of us
so much.
being as effective as possible.
Thank you so much. Councilmember White,
Thank
if
you.
you may read through Resolution 23.
in support of the Disability Justice and Liberation and Education Act. Whereas over 188,800 NYC public school students, 23.2% of the total have individualized educational programs, and over 29,000 of them are served by District 75, representing more than 15% of students with IEP. District 75 also provides critical services such as home and hospital instruction for students unable to attend school due to medical conditions or while awaiting a suitable school setting as an interim placement. Whereas students with disabilities are disproportionately disciplined, segregated, and underserved, and existing resources do not meet the current need for a comprehensive, mandatory, inclusive educational framework. Whereas there is no current K through 12 disability studies curriculum, no system-wide training on disability equity and ableism, no required classroom library representation, and no centralized accountability for tracking inclusive practice. Therefore, be it resolved that CCD 75 urges NYCPS to adopt and implement the Justice and Liberation and Education Act with the following components. 1, inclusive education framework. Implement a mandatory vertically aligned K through 12 disability studies curriculum, co-designed with disability studies scholars and disabled educators. Topics shall include disability, identity, neurodiversity, and the disability rights movement, the social model of disability, and intersectionality. Introduce foundational ASL instruction in grades K through 5 with expansion into tactile sign language, AAC, and intermediate ASL in grades 6 through 12. These offerings will supplement, not replace, current language requirements to ensure communication equity. Require each school to maintain an inclusive classroom library with a minimum of 60 age-appropriate books and media featuring disabled authors, characters, and disability history curated with disability-led organizations. Mandate sensory-friendly instructional strategies and peer-mediated inclusion practices across classrooms to expand successful District 75 practices system-wide. Number 2, professional development. Require annual scaffold disability justice and anti-ableism training for all educators, administrators, and staff co-led by disability-led organizations. Training shall include inclusive instructional design, disability identity, trauma-informed care, communication access, and cultural responsiveness. All professional development will be integrated into the citywide PD calendar for school-level compliance and monitoring. Number 3, student empowerment and visibility. Mandate that all middle and high schools establish disability affinity groups and peer inclusion clubs supported by trained staff, advisors, and funded activities. Require all schools to celebrate Disability Pride Week and curriculum-aligned classroom lessons, guest speakers, and student showcases while encouraging arts, civic engagement, life skills, and other aspects of community life, inclusion, and integration. Launch a DOE-supported career pathway program for high school students interested in professions that support individuals with disabilities, featuring internships, mentorships, and credentialing partnerships with colleges and community-based organizations. Number 4, accountability and oversight. Create an annual NYC Disability Justice and Inclusion Report card, reporting publicly on curriculum implementation, training compliance, inclusive practices, and discipline disparities disaggregated by race and disability status. Develop a public dashboard with data on library collections, sensory accommodations, peer-led inclusion activities, and staff PD completion. Oversight shall be entrusted to a panel and council that includes students with disabilities, caregivers, educators, and advocates tasked with monitoring compliance, reviewing progress, evaluating outcomes, and issuing policy recommendations. Be it further resolved that NYCPS commit to a bold, transformative vision for a disability inclusive educational system grounded in justice, equity, universal design, and liberation. One that prepares students with disabilities to fully participate in society and prepare society to understand, include, and value them as equal members of the community, equipped to support, represent, and advocate alongside them on every front and every way.
All righty, council members. Families, please, these documents will be posted on our website, on social media, and in spaces where you can read them to see what is going on. Council members, after reading the document, what feedback do you have? You already know what mine is. I have a few different items because we haven't consulted the district to make sure what we do and don't do. And I'm not so sure about what the ASL for 6 through 12, how that works as a mandate. So there's just questions that I have through the document, not saying that it doesn't matter, not trying to minimize anything. That's just my piece. Do we have any additional feedback in the document before we move to the next item?
No additional feedback from the council members. We would, love for the updates to be shared eventually when we find out more information about the ASL piece. But other than that, we as a collective think that it's a pretty good resolution.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. I don't go against. I have my feedback. I can only say what I feel. We move as a council together. We will move this into vote into the calendar meeting. Our next space, thank you, council members, so much for your feedback. Our next space is the committee updates. Second Vice President Bonilla, take it away for capacity and utilization. Are you able to unmute? Let's see. Does anybody see her flagging or saying anything? Vice President Bonilla, are you able to unmute? Well, while we are waiting for Vice President Bonilla to unmute, please do know that she has been doing a lot of excellent work with our busing committee, with our safety committee, and with our capacity and utilization committees. So I know that we did have a few updates that were happening with capacity and utilization. I know that the next meeting, correct me if I'm wrong, Gabrielle, is December 10th. For capacity and utilization, we will be having the School Construction Authority showing up for that meeting. Members, you will want to participate in that at 6 p.m. on December 10th. If we can put the flyer and or the council's website in the chat so that people may get those updates for capacity utilization and the SCA. Are you able to unmute Vice President Bonilla, or should I continue with my report and then give you space to tap in? Hearing nothing, I will move forward. So guys, with our school visits and highlights, forgive the snoring in the background. As Dr. McCoy has mentioned before, she has hit the ground running and jumped in with President's Council, in with our council, and better in Manhattan, in the Bronx, in Queens, to do our school visits. We have also partnered with my Avenger hero, Dr. Hoggart, to go into these different schools. If you have any co-location issues, understand and recognize he will make sure that governance and Minnie Paulson and everybody else that's attached to anything to help expedite issues in our school happens. That's in real time, guys. We do love our district folks. So I do want to highlight our school, P25R. When we went to Staten Island, they have a fully functioning mechanic workshop, y'all. They have a on-site bakery supporting culinary and business skill building. It is beautiful watching how they are moving diligently for our children within vocation. They're moving in partnership with Unlimited Care, giving students exposure to employment pathways, to where I have said, whatever they're doing over there, they need to bring it to the district and help duplicate those efforts. We appreciate their extraordinary warmth and their dedication to the progress of students. Guys, they had the cars on lifts, like when you're changing the oil. They had four-wheelers. They had motorcycles. They had little gas cutters, the grass cutters, lawnmowers, whatever it was, these kids have access to things that they normally wouldn't. So we want to have a highlight and a praise to our schools that are moving our babies through vocationally. Council members, I want to have a huge thank you to the council for supporting the efforts for the CUNY pipeline. As you guys know, we just had our Bronx tour. We had over 100 students come to that location. Guys, the cheerleaders were wonderful. 721X was amazing. Thank you, Sarah Baez, the CNS, for hosting us. It was a wonderful event. We are going to be moving forward into Queens, into Manhattan, and then into Staten Island to make sure that we as a council stand in the gap to fill in the absences and the or lack of substitute paraprofessionals, and to make sure that we have transition planning and inclusive college pathways for our own students who are graduating from District 75, from regular high school students, and from CUNY and SUNY schools. Again, our SCA presentation is going to be with the capacity utilization on December 12th. Guys, I want to let you know, I was hoping to have it today. Today didn't happen, but our annual report is finished. So we will be sending that out. And I cannot wait for you guys to see what we found within the last year. There is a lot of work to be done. We will be having an annual report committee as we will be moving into adding in our writer again, adding into the spaces that we've already voted for as particulars that we're going to focus on. And we're going to start now in narrowing down what we need and getting the data and in holding people responsible so that we have what we need by the end of the year. So please do look out for those annual report meetings. And parents, caregivers, you're invited to every single committee meeting. We want you to know that you can be a part of this. You can sign up to be a member. There is no strings attached. Show up when you can, show up how you can. We do appreciate you. We have been having some communications. I know Councilmember Rivera and Public Advocate Ramirez has also uplifted to myself making a OPWDD pipeline. We have thought about this. We are in the process, council members, of figuring out what does this look like. How do we want to have vocation, have access, or have anything coming to and from District 75 with OPWDD as a direct line? Because we know families need long-term support and they need to know how to navigate eligibility. So we want to be able to create artifacts and strengthen these accessibilities and partnerships for the parents. We do have Include NYC Fair coming up. That's going to be in January. I think it's the 24th. Again, Vice President Bonilla and Councilmember Rivera, who has always shown up for outreach. Thank you, Councilmember Rivera. They will be showing up on behalf of our council for Include NYC to represent us and engage families with guidance, resources, and transition information. If we do have any additional members that would like to be present, please do let me know as we finalize out the information for Include NYC. Family members, we have gone through the CCD 75 mobile app. That is available. ccd75.org, guys. It pops up only on your mobile. Forgive me, I'm going to work on that for the computer side. But we are trying to engage families more with our application. Additionally, Public Advocate Giselle Ramirez and Second Vice President Bonilla has stated that they are willing to write blogs and information and get our media out here and get things moving to give additional information. So everybody clap it up for my two new members for outreach. All right. We got some work going. And speaking of members, guys, I want you guys to know Vice President Bonilla has beat all of us. Her safety committee has had so many people engage and want to be a part of it. So I am really glad about the work that she's doing and the parents that are saying yes for our babies. Also, as of December 1st, we no longer have the Remind app. Parents, please know this. Please work with your parent coordinators. You know, we've done the Digital Ambassadors Workshop recently, and we've learned that parents aren't getting push notifications through Nixa. You don't know when you have a bus. You don't know when you have a ride share code. And we have uplifted this to IA Dr. McCoy. We've uplifted this to the district, and they are in spaces of looking at how to speak with the vendors, how to look at different contracts, and to support our parents a little bit better. Speaking of the Digital Ambassadors Program, our next spaces will be on Nixa, on Google Classroom and Classroom Dojo, because we're asking parents to access things that they may not have seen in a long time, because how many of us use our students' email addresses regularly to access anything? Not many? Okay, and if you have multiple students, it makes it even more complicated. So we will work on that to help you guys out. Secondarily, council members, you know that we're working on a lot of different art initiatives. We have recently uplifted PIE, the Partnership for Parents, Puppets in Education, guys. This is something that we've talked about before. You guys have seen my son with puppets for multiple years with District 75. They've contributed puppets. He's been at the back to school fair with puppets. And we have Brita Passioni, who is an expert of 25 years with District 75 through the Jim Henson Foundation, who is creating curriculum for our council to make this puppetry thing move. Wonder Sparks is willing to also give in communication classes, etc. And the biggest part of this, we pushed this idea past the district, and all we got was green flags, flying colors. So my question is, I know that PA Giselle Ramirez is willing to be a part of this. Hello. We're talking about the arts aspect of our council, guys. Do we have any other council members that want to join in? Because we additionally will be going to the Motion Picture School of Technology, Giselle?
Yes.
That's another aspect that we're doing in the arts space. So we want to know which members want to join in on these initiatives, because we will need you guys to jump into different spaces as we're moving forward. I know Councilmember White, I'm pulling you to the floor. She's been talking to me about a lot of legislative stuff, guys. You know, as soon as January hits, we're going to have to hit ground running, because our legislative breakfast is happening in March. So I know we have her there. We have PA Giselle in another space. We have Rebecca Alley with Food Stream and other partners. So we want to make sure that we have everybody in a space so you can show your talents, do your thing, and make sure that you do your part for the council to pull this around. So for our arts people, our grants people, if this is a space that you want to jump into, please let us know. Let's see. And finally, because this is pretty long today, apologies. The Queen's Library. We need a working group for that. We're moving the Queens Library to be more inclusional, just like the Brooklyn Library and the Bronx Library. So those of you who want to tag in with me, even CEC representatives 1 through 32, if you are in Queens and you want to be in the Queens Public Library Working Group, please reach out to us and let us know. Libraries are loud, they're inclusive, and we're working on having sensory meet and greets. Also, Superintendent Town Hall, y'all rocked out last night. Thank you, council members. Thank you for your questions. Thank you to President's Council. Thank you to Andy Corso, to Dial, to DSL for helping us rapidly pull this off so that we can try to make a permanent space for our superintendent, and that we were able to make families' presence felt and their voices heard. Again, you guys heard me say the legislative breakfast. Please pin it in your mind, because you're going to hear me say, guys, we need to make calls. Guys, we need to put out save the dates. Guys, we need to hit these legislators up, because we're going to be asking them to do their jobs. They have a lot of money. They have a lot of help, and they had our votes getting into office. Okay, upcoming items and call to actions. We have our joint public hearings that we are doing. Vice President Bonilla has been significantly helping in those spaces. Council members, you can attend. You can go through the walkthroughs. You can speak and go to those community meetings. Please do reach out to myself and Gabrielle if you need a little bit of hand holding, like, hey, Christy, what is this? Can you tell me a little bit more? Yes, I can. But we would love for you to look at those dates and see where and if you might be able to participate, even with the CUNY events and with the annual report committees. That is all that I have. I want to thank you for your work. Thank you for your outreach. And thank you for the opportunities that you are continually making for our students and our families. Now, we have unfinished business. Do we have anything that we have not finished or uplifted from our last meeting? Do we have any new business that we want to bring to the floor currently? If not, we can motion to adjourn this meeting at 7:56 p.m. to move into our calendar meeting. Do we have a motion?
This is VP Gomez. I motion to adjourn this meeting at 7:56 p.m.
Do we have a second?
I second.
All right, thank you so much. We are rightfully motioned and adjourned at 7:56 p.m. At this moment, we will call the calendar meeting for the Citywide Council for District 75 to order at 7:56 p.m. Will our timekeeper continue for this section?
Yes.
Can we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Masuma Akhtar.
Present.
Rebecca Alley. McBeal.
Yes.
Christy Angel.
Yes.
Stephanie Bonilla.
Present, she's present online. Oh, is she? I'm sorry.
Joanna Gomez.
Present.
Elijah Hobbs.
Present.
Giselle Ramirez.
Present.
Jessica Rivera.
Present.
Sharon Stewart.
Present.
Michelle White. Present.
Is Stephanie Bonilla on?
She's on, yeah, it says she's
So
on.
it said yes.
All right. Does this still leave us with quorum? If so, we can go ahead and move into our meeting items. We do have approval of minutes, but as I've done a little bit of conversation, we're going to postpone that to our January meeting, and then we'll go through the minutes for November and December in that meeting. President's report, I've kind of done that for the business meeting, so I've saved us a little bit of time. So now with that being said, I am going to move over to our Treasury report with Rebecca Alley.
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, so it's not fully adjusted, so please excuse that. We're still working on making sure we fill everything in, but I will read everything that we have going on. So for the month of November, we committed $59 to the monthly subscription for Wix, and that was taken off of our P card. So you'll see our P card is at $1,500. It's actually currently at $1,323, the balance. So we've utilized for our Wix subscription. And then we allocated $3,750. Oh wow. $3,750 to our member reimbursements, and our $300 is for our NYC nice that we have. So totaled at oh wait, hold on, I didn't do this. I apologize. Please give me 1 minute.
Did we drop the volume?
Pending a total.
Yeah, the total was incorrect. So the committed total for the month was $4,059 in expenses, and our forwarded balance is
We'll need to make sure we tighten this up when we come in before, just in case if there's like really new updated edits that we ask Mohab if we can try to get that, even if it's same day, last minute for any corrections.
There's a few other issues that are missing there, but we will deal with it next month. The forwarded balance is $15,391.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Treasurer Alley. So guys, please, when we do get these forms back, sometimes if we have reimbursements that are processing and other things in other places, it may not have the updates correct. So we do thank you, Treasurer Alley, for keeping us up to track and date with our budget. The next space on our report is the superintendent report. We can now move this section of the meeting over to IA, Dr. McCoy and team.
Good evening, all, and thank you once again. So I have a few updates. I shared some of them yesterday while we were on the town hall. So first, I want to thank you for coming on to the town hall. I'm happy it's over, but it was a great experience to go through. And I just thank all of you and Learning Times for yesterday. All right, so a few updates. So I've been on like a marathon, I feel, these days. A lot of them I've went with either a parent leader, President Christie, or I've been with Rima on some of the visits. So I visited 469, which has a new site, and I was with Miss Wanda and Miss Tamara and the 469 community. They just opened the site, which was an awesome day there. It's a beautiful site, and they did it mid school year, and it was great to even see the 469X Gen Ed community there. I met the superintendent, and we had a really nice chat, and it was a great visit. I then had a visit with 3 principals who just obtained their tenure, 9Q, 17X, and 371K. These are my first 3 principals, and what I did is I sent them a document to complete. I then went with them. I sat with them for about an hour and a half, and through that hour and a half process, they explained their data. They explained the growth of the students. They explained their journey. We visited 4 to 6 classrooms. I asked them what are the glows and the grows of each classroom because I wanted to make sure it matched their mission, vision, and instructional practice. And we talked about what's next for the school community. We reviewed the data, and I learned a lot through that process with them. And they all obtained tenure. I'll be giving them a certificate, which is a little something new at the principals meeting. They'll be getting a certificate and award just to be acknowledged. And I'll say a few words because obtaining tenure is not easy. It's not given, it's earned. And I believe that they really did earn it. Also something we're working on is the PPO norming visit. So we use 721M, and what the PPO norming visits are, it's the evaluation tool used for principals. So it's the deputy superintendent and we had several key members from central office training us. This came from when I met with the principals and they're doing their one-to-one conversations. They want to make sure that all 3 of us, the 3 district leaders, have the same lens when we're doing the evaluation. So I felt for that to happen, we need to be trained. And being that I am a new interacting superintendent, I want to make sure that we're saying the same thing. I want to make sure that we're going in where we're may not be seeing the same thing, but that our lens are very similar. And the feedback is very clear. So one thing that we're going to start implementing is a email that will go out to the principals. It will be the same email to all principals before we're going to the PPOs. Another thing that we'll be doing is we'll be making sure that we really follow a specific, we call it like a little cheat sheet of the questions that we're asking and making sure that all 3 of us are aligned when we're going to these visits. We had a part 2 session with the central office, and we'll have a part 3. So I'm really taking my time with this and really unpacking this work to make sure that we're going in and making sure that we're giving quality feedback. And it's a really, a great visit. I then went to the Bronx and I visited the Bronx Borough President, Vanessa Gibson. She is lovely and she totally loves District 75. She shared with me and said, I gave District 75 so much money. And I said, we want more. So she was awesome. I want to shout her out because she truly does love D75. And what I loved about that visit, what I loved about that event, it was a youth town hall. It was schools from all over the Bronx. It was charter schools, it was parochial schools, it was D75. So the two D75 schools that were represented was 17X and 754X. And to see our students get up and speak about inclusion and their concerns and issues of inclusion, I was very happy to hear them, advocate for themselves. But then I was even happier when I sent that email, and now there's going to be a meeting so that they can unpack what the concerns are. I then went to visit 754X, and I happened to see the student who spoke, and he walked up to me. He goes, "Hey, my friend. Hey, my friend," and we hugged it out. And they are working on some of the concerns that they have to just make sure that our D75 students are included in everything that we do. Like I said yesterday, I participate in UFC consultation, CSA, DLT, CCD75, at the teaching lab, HMH check-in, and extended cabinet. I know President Christie spoke about the CUNY subpara nominations, which was awesome. I got the opportunity to go to the 721X event, and it was really great. And a big shout out to her and the council, and a big shout out to 721X. It was great to have the D75 HR department. The UFT was in the house. Everybody spoke. Dr. Huggart was with us also. And it was just an awesome event for 721X to showcase their beautiful school. They have beautiful things happening there. It was also the day of quads, meaning for the principal groups were there to do intervisitations and learning walks. So it was a real packed day, but it was a good packed day. And something I want to share that she has, that principal at 721K, that I was like, I'm going to steal that idea and we're going to share it with all of the principals. She has this video that when she has sub paras or paras that are new to her school community, I believe it's probably like an 8-minute video that shows from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. So how they clock in, how to, if they have to go and toilet a child, some not safety concerns, but safety tips. So I thought it was just a great way for sub-paras. Yes, they are hired, right? And yes, they may go through the entire process. But when they come to D75, they're not fully trained. So to have that 10-minute quick video, it's a great way for them to get a quick 1, 2, 3 of what I should do and what I shouldn't do. So I'm going to be showcasing that at the principal meeting so that we can have more schools do something like that. I went to 754X with Miss Rima, and it was really cool because they have a chicken coop outside, and I actually touched. I didn't get that. I didn't feed the chicken coop. I wanted to feed the chicken coop. My shoes were like too cute to get that dirty foot, and he didn't have shoe covers for the chicken coop to feed it. Yeah, my daughter does this too. I know this is the new thing. But I did touch the chicken coop really, really far. I have some photos of it. Yeah, I did. And he gave me eggs from the chicken coop. I don't eat eggs. I actually hate eggs. But my son made the eggs, and I told him it was from a chicken coop. He goes, "Oh, that's why they taste so different." If you meet my son, he's just pray for me. Okay. Then we went to 79M, and they had a beautiful ribbon cutting. They have a new studio, an apartment studio. It is so beautiful. And that site at 79M is just beautiful in itself. And then they had a beautiful Thanksgiving feast. I chatted with some of the parents. A lot of the families were there, and they all ate together, and it was just awesome. Today I was on a mission, so my voice is a little raspy because I was in Staten Island all day. I visited 5 schools today. 5. I got up super early. I was in Staten Island at 8, and I got here probably just like 5 o'clock. But it was such an awesome visit. So I started off at 25R, and I hear President Christie talking about 25R. When I walked in, I was just amazed to see that car and the kids working on the car and doing oil changes. I was like really blown away. And then they have a wood shop in the back. And when I spoke to the teachers, they said students who really hate coming to school actually turns and love coming to school now because they're doing something they want to do. So one of my key questions is this. I love all the vocational programs. They're awesome. I just want to make sure that when they exit, that we can get jobs for them. I need that connection, right? Because to me, it becomes more meaningful. Yes, it's great and we're teaching them the skills, but the next level to that is how can we obtain jobs? They may not know how to build a car, but if they can work in Toyota and do an oil change or Jiffy Lube, think about that and do an oil change. That's amazing. And I say to myself, you know, plumbers and carpenters. I remember when I got my floors done, how expensive it was. But those trades and those skills really can get the kids to come into school. And just to hear the story of how Principal Anthony, that's the principal of 25R, even obtained those teachers, it's a story in itself. So it was a great visit at 25R. I took a trip then to then I went to Staten Island High School, Staten Island Tech High School. And this blew my mind too. Today was just amazing. Staten Island Tech it has a site in there, which is 37R. But so I'm in there, I walk in, I see 37R. I know Principal Corey because when I was a principal, we did a lot of work. We had like this pen pal thing going on. My school at that time was in Brownsville, her school's in Staten Island. And we did this pen pal, and then the students met over we went to Staten Island came to us. And when I walked into this room, it was like I would say, I guess a culinary room. And I'm like, oh, okay, so we have an inclusion program here. So she says to me, no, we don't. So I said, but these are D75 kids in the gen ed school building. So she said, well, Principal Corey says, I met the principal from Staten Island High School and we were just chatting it up. And I said, I would love to have some space. She said, I would love to have some space in your school. And he said, okay. And she said, I would love to just have the kids do a store or, work and go to school in this school. They worked it out where she has an 8 to 1-to-1 class in there. And although it is an off-site, it's not like technically an off-site, it's not an inclusion site, but he opened the doors to our students. And the way they are treated in that building, it blows my mind. They are respected. They are I walk in, they are so happy. They walk up to me, what's your name? Who are you? And that building has I said, how many kids does this school have? 1,400 students. And just to see our students being able to maneuver with all of that it blew my mind. So I was like, okay, we need to have more models of you two, right? You two I'm going to be using you two a lot. And then I walked around just Staten Island High School and I walked inside the cafeteria. I was with the superintendent of Staten Island because I know him. His name is Dr. Powton. He used to be a principal for D75. So we have a good relationship. And we walked around and I said to myself, look, I looked at all the students, they were playing music. And I looked at all the students and I'm like, oh my gosh, kids can now be kids because they don't have a cell phone in their hand. Kids were like playing cards. Kids were talking to each other. Kids were like doing kid stuff. And I was just like, look at what just taking one device away for the day. No one's dying. Everyone's okay. We don't need CPR. And just to see them being children, it was amazing. I had an awesome time there too. And then they have this guy who has so much energy. He plays the music and the kids have to dance outside of the cafeteria to go back into their classroom. And I'm talking like they're dancing, they're giving them a hand bounce and I'm dancing, like everybody's dancing. So this student walks up and says, "Hi, I just want to say hi to you and the other superintendent because you both look so very important." So it was just great. It was a great energy, great atmosphere. I just had a good time. So from there, I went to 89R, and it's a new site. We visited some of the classrooms. I got to sit down and do a little lesson with one of the students. And we are going to be expanding that school to more classrooms. I then went to 373R, and they have beautiful murals on the wall. We had a wonderful conversation about pushing kids to least restrictive environment. We talked about the literacy that's happening in the school building. It was close towards the end of the day, so I really didn't get the opportunity to see too many classes, but just the environment was just inviting, and it just felt like learning really happens there. And I ended my day at 721R, and that is also a huge new building. They have about 4 sensory rooms. They have a sensory hallway. The cafeteria is big and beautiful. And they just have great programs also happening in there. They have like a culinary state-of-the-art room. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I was actually just on the phone with the superintendent, and we're thinking about doing some collaborative work, uniting for students. That's what we want to title it. And we just want to unpack some things that we want to really join the principals, APs, and teachers together to uplift some of the great things that are happening there. Hi.
It's trying to get in.
Oh, someone's trying to get in. So that was it so far for me. I'm sure more great things are happening. Just looking forward to continuing the one-to-one conversations, continuing working with my deputy soups to dive deeper into the PPO data and training. And I know more great things are forthcoming. So thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll get them. We'll get
I
them.
know that members were saying Dr. Hoggart was trying to come in. I do not see him present in the waiting area or pending.
I did see him, but I think he disappeared.
I gave up.
I was waiting.
Make special effects, Andy. So do we want to move forward and then leave space for Dr. Hoggart when he does rejoin the meeting?
Sure. I'll text him also.
I will be on the lookout. Who would be the next person that has the updates for the district? Nora, Patricia, Sacha, Jacqueline.
I have a few quick instructional
Shelley,
updates.
deputy.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Very good.
It is wonderful to see all of you as always. I'm so happy to be here and always so excited to share the wonderful instructional happenings across District 75. I will be very brief and concise. And what I'll do after I speak, I'll start putting information into the chat because we have a lot of upcoming dates and important things happening that I don't want anybody to miss. On Thursday, the 11th of December, we have a conversations over lunch workshop from our literacy department. And the team is going to be focusing on helping our students to succeed at every stage of their reading development. So they're going to be talking about foundational reading skills, the stages of developmental reading instruction, and reading behaviors. So we encourage everybody to join. That will be on December 11th from 11:30 to 12:30. We'll make sure that you get that information. And we just yesterday had a very exciting conversations over lunch workshop from our STEM department, science, technology, engineering, and math. The science team hosted a lunch and learn with over 40 participants. So thank you so much, families, for logging on. The session focused on engaging families in science learning at home, thinking about everyday phenomena, natural resources, the ways in which we can use our everyday to learn about science. And I do have a QR code for you to be able to take a look if you weren't able to join, and we hope that you'll pass it along. I'll add that to the chat in just a few moments, but these conversations are happening across departments. They're really exciting. They're happening hopefully at a time that's an easy time for family members to have some flexibility to log on. We'll keep you posted on all that's to come. We also have a lot of arts events that I'll put into the chat. I'm just going to, in 2 minutes or less, go over them very, very briefly. Arts District 75, arts exhibits are going to be happening all through the spring at the Positive Exposure Gallery. This is going to include a family celebration in April. We'll get you the dates. We have our District 75 Film Awards happening in March at MoMA. We get excellent spaces to really be able to give our students a forum to exhibit and showcase the amazing work that they're doing. Our Festival of the Arts, which is always a fan favorite, our wonderful student performers, will be happening in May. We also in May have our second annual Modern Band Festival. It's like Woodstock all over again. It is so much fun. We hope that everybody will come out for that. We have other student art showcases that will be happening. Our students will be doing a showcase at the Guggenheim at the very end of the school year. So much happening in the arts, including our Saturday Arts Academy that we know many families and many students participated in the past. We have dates that are going to be starting in January, which I'm shocked to recognize is just around the corner, and those will be going through March across several boroughs, across all of our boroughs, actually. So we'll make sure that we get that information to you in the chat as well. And then we also, in collaboration with our transition department, are going to be continuing a really incredible partnership. Our ambassador program with Lincoln Center, where students learn how to engage after school and on weekends to within careers in the arts. They're doing ushering. They're learning how to manage the house over at Lincoln Center. So when we think about what Dr. McCoy was talking about those real world experiences that can prepare them for jobs that they can do in the community, this is a great example of those experiences. So we're so happy to be continuing. And we will also be continuing the amazing advocacy of our student superintendent advocacy council that will be continuing to identify items that they'd like to raise up to the superintendent's office about the work that's happening in their school and that they'd like to see happening within their local communities. And they will continue to do amazing work to let us know what they need to be able to be successful and to promote the positive change that they want to see within their world. So lots to come. I'll start putting that into all of those dates and information pieces into the chat as I turn it over to Dr. Hoggard for some additional updates. Great to see you all.
Dr. Hoggard is having some difficulty logging on. I was just talking with him, so he's going to try to log on. Just give him a few. All right. Thank you, guys.
No problem. So why don't we move to Nora then for our family updates?
Thank you.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Hope everybody's doing great. It's great to be here tonight. I just have a few updates and then I'll hand it over to Nora. So NICS accounts are doing very well. It's continuing to rise. We ask that families continue to activate accounts, and if you need assistance, we'll be there to provide the assistance. We had, I'm gonna have Nora speak on that, but we have a lot of support, especially with Miss Christy Angel, who's providing support with our NICS account. So we ask you to continue to do that. Also, I just want you guys to know that we even made the switch from Remind to Parent Square. So when you do see those activations, coming in through your emails, we actually just to go ahead and click that link so that you know everything that's going on within the district, and just to go check out our D75 website. Nadira has done a great job with so much like resources and interfaces, seeing what the district is doing, seeing what the children are doing, providing workshops within the cafe. So we just ask you guys to go on and do that. Additionally, we have a save the date. We have a stress-free Saturdays. It's one of the 5 upcoming dates that we'll be having for the families. So what is Stress-Free Saturdays? It's just a date to give back to the families. It includes wellness drinks. It includes mini massages. It includes stretches. It includes mindfulness. It also includes give backs. We're doing horticulture. We're doing paint and sip. So you got a lot of fun things packed within that Saturday. But more importantly, it's just focused on the parent wellness, de-stressing. So we'll have just a room set aside for the children, and it's going to be focused all on you. We're starting in the Bronx. I'll be dropping the link in there shortly, and then following through with the other boroughs. So thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you guys. And over to you, Nora.
Thank you, Patricia. And thank you, families, for always giving us the space. I know it's been a lot of updates, but again, a lot of updates means a lot of really great things happening in District 75. So I want to say a special thank you to President Christine Angel, because the first event that I want to talk about and share is the family peer groups. We had this need to provide a space for families to come together. It's a space for all schools, all families across the district to join on a Saturday at the district office for pretty much a day to connect, to gain resources, to have a few hours to themselves as parents. And this past session on November 15th was amazing. We had a full house here. We had 2 rooms of childcare. We had the room, and the reason why I mentioned Christine Ju is because President Christine Ju facilitated the digital ambassador workshop, and she did an incredible job. A lot of families walked into the room without a Nixa account, and we provided them with the support, and they left with their Nixa account. And any family that I couldn't help to open the account, I emailed them and followed up with them later that week. So these are the resources that you can get and the support that you can get as a family. And I'm just so excited that was such a wonderful day for our district. Again, thinking about our families and your needs and how the power of the parent, it just goes, it's an intense power when you're together. Is the District 75 Fathers Alliance. We had a virtual meeting on December 1st, and we had almost 100 participants. It was a powerful session. Actually, one of the dads, I hope it's okay for me to shout you out, Johnny. He was a participant that evening, and it was just Quinton Mezitin, one of our parent leaders. He spoke so eloquently about his journey. And again, these are opportunities for you as families, as parents, to join other parents and to just get the support from each other and understand that you're not alone in this work as a District 75 parent. So I'm looking forward to the subsequent dates, and I hope that all of you can join us. Let's get this district office completely full, and let's move on to other buildings and have to get other rooms. That's a problem we want to have. So I invite you to attend future sessions. The next parent peer group is on February 7th. Thank you, everyone. And I wish everyone a happy holidays. I don't think we're going to get to see each other again. So I just want to say thank you. And I hope on to 2026. Have a good night, everyone.
Do we have Dr. Hoggard in the building?
He's still trying to log in. Where he is the reception is being nice to him.
We're going to need you to use Morse code, Dr. Hoggard. Phone a friend.
Hold on.
Oh, he's back.
He's admit. He's here somewhere.
Dr. Hoggett, are you here?
Yes. Good evening, everybody.
They're looking for you. They're looking for you, Doc.
I'm here. How's everybody doing?
Hey, and yourself.
Pretty good. Good to see everybody. It's always a pleasure to be in a space with you all. So Shelley, did we already do transition or?
I left it for you.
Oh, you left it for
Grand
me?
finale
Okay.
of our
All right.
updates.
But did we talk about the Fathers Initiative?
Yes,
Did anybody?
yes.
Nora, you took that from me, huh, Nora?
I did, but you were like, but go ahead, keep
Guys,
talking about it because it was amazing. It was amazing.
I just want to say that we kicked off our Fathers Initiative, Fathers Alliance session this week. And I just want to say it was amazing. The fathers had an opportunity to really just talk amongst one another. Shout out to Quentin. Shout out to Quentin. Quentin was there. He was able to talk about his story. He was able to talk about his experiences on being a father of a child with a disability. And I just want to say it really opened the room up for fathers to really just share with one another different resources, different things that they're doing within their home, with their families. So I just want to say it was amazing. We had over 60 fathers. What was it, about 64, 65, Nora?
We had almost 95 dads.
90, oh, we went up to 95?
Yes, we did.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And we're going to continue to push and we're going to continue to make sure we expand and we get more and more fathers involved. I also appreciate that the opportunity opened the door up for fathers. Towards the end, they were able to talk about different supports that they may need within their schools, the schools that their children attend. So I really appreciated being able, me, myself, the team, being able to give them like real-time feedback and real-time ways in which we can have the school support them and their children. And I want to just shout out to the administrators that were present. We had principals, we had assistant principals, parent coordinators came out. So it was a great event. And I always say there's nothing like the power of collaboration and just the way everybody came out, showed out for the fathers. It was amazing. It was amazing. And the fathers even said, what about the mothers? The fathers, I don't know if Nora brought this up, but the fathers said,
They did.
They said, can we somehow include the mothers? Can we do something where we could do like a joint meeting and bring everybody together? So I think it was amazing. I think it was great. And I just wanted to put out.
Everybody was laughing in the room. You saw that? They're like,
oh, they were laughing? I can't see it.
I see them.
The fathers were checking for the mothers. They was
Yes,
like,
they were.
if we're gonna do this work, we need to some way, somehow include the mothers and come together. So I just wanted to shout the fathers out for that. And with respect to transition, they talked about, some of the fathers talked about the Plant, Learn, Grow transitioning program that's happening within our District 75 office. They talked about their experience. They big up Natalie McQueen for the work that she's doing with their children around financial literacy, around different things when it comes to transition. It was a great session, and it was just a great conversation to have. And I just wanted to say I appreciate it, and I appreciated the opportunity. Thank you all. Thank you all for giving me the space to talk.
Thank you so much to the district. Thank you so much for the updates. I know we are hitting against the clock. You guys have been there so much earlier for the dinner. Thank you again for the district. So guys, we're going to try to run through this extraordinarily quick before they kick us out at 9 p.m. We're going to jump into public comment for resolutions 21, 23, 25, where we're talking about parent accommodations, where we're talking about the disability resolution, where we're talking about home instruction resolutions. Do we have any parents that have any feedback and or comments before we go into vote for council members? If you do, you may raise your hand so you may be noticed in the chat. Seeing no feedback, we will go into resolution 21, ensuring respectful and legal protected accommodations for parents and caregivers in disabilities. Do we have a motion for resolution 21?
This is VP Gomez. I have a motion to approve resolution 21. ensuring respectful and legally protected accommodations for parents and caregivers with disabilities.
Do we have a second?
Giselle, second.
Do we have any debate?
No debate.
No debate.
The council, no.
We may move into a roll call vote.
Rebecca Alley.
Yes.
Masuma Akhtar.
Yes.
Christy Angel.
Yes.
Stephanie Bonilla.
Yes.
Joanna Gomez.
Yes.
Elijah Hobbs.
Yes.
Jessica Rivera.
Yes.
Giselle Ramirez.
Yes.
Sharon Stewart.
Yes.
Michelle White. Yes.
Oh, that's.
10 votes in the affirmative.
10 votes in the affirmative. The motion for Resolution 21 has been approved. Thank you, council members, for your vote. Resolution 25, Aaron and Christian's Promise, a resolution of equity, oversight, and urgency in home instruction for students and disabilities. Do we have a motion?
Yes, this is Council Member Masuma. I approve this resolution.
Do we have a second?
This is Councilmember White. I second it.
Do we have any debate?
No.
Seeing none, can we move into a roll call vote?
Rebecca Alley.
Yes.
Masuma Akhtar.
Yes.
Christy Angel.
Yes.
Stephanie Bonilla.
Yes.
Joanna Gomez.
Yes.
Elijah Hobbs.
Yes.
Jessica Rivera.
Yes.
Giselle Ramirez.
Yes.
Sharon Stewart.
Yes.
Michelle White. Yes.
We have quorum for that vote. The motion has passed. Thank you, council members, for approving Resolution 25. Resolution 23, resolution in support of the Disability Justice and Liberation in Education Act. Do we have a motion to approve?
This is VP Gomez. I motion to approve Resolution 23, resolution in support of the Disability Justice and Liberation in Education Act.
Do we have a second?
Councilmember Rebecca Alley, I'll second it.
Do we have any debate?
No.
We may move into a roll call vote.
Rebecca Alley.
Yes.
Masuma Akhtar.
Yes.
Christy Angel.
Abstain.
Stephanie Bonilla. Stephanie Bonilla.
Hold on,
Can you just repeat the resolution? Which one is it?
Number 23, which is resolution in support of the Disability Justice and Liberation in Education Act.
Okay. Yes.
Joanna Gomez.
Yes.
Elijah Hobbs.
Yes.
Jessica Rivera.
Yes.
Giselle Ramirez.
Yes.
Sharon Stewart.
Yes.
Michelle White. Yes.
9 in favor, 1 abstain.
We have 9 in favor. The resolution has passed. Thank you, council members, for passing Resolution 23. We do now move into new business. Council members, do we have any items that we want to add onto the agenda for next month? You may also email these 72 hours before our meeting. But if we do have items for the agenda now, please let us know so that we may add those for January.
I would like to add a safety resolution that I would like to send over.
Yes. Thank you, Vice President Bonilla. Do we have any other items to be added to the agenda? If not, we will double back over to Q&A if we have any questions from the public. After that, if we have no questions, we will move into adjournment really quickly. Let's check in with our interpreters, Spanish, Bangla, and Mandarin. Do we have any questions?
President Angel, can we also add the bylaws? That way we can make the amendments that we need to?
We can always make amendments to any bylaws. If you guys have amendments, just make sure to get those to us 72 hours prior to the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
And we can also have a bylaws committee meeting if we want to work through different things in the bylaws. Just let us know. But if it's in a motion, you guys can always uplift those and submit those.
Okay, thank you.
Miss Veronica Jordan, yes, if you do have issues with pickup and or drop off, Miss Bonilla, could you also put the busing information so that we can be in contact with Ms. Jordan to make sure that we help her escalate the issues that she's having with busing. Ms. Jordan, we are a place of advocacy, so don't worry about if it's in the right place. We will make sure to get you in the right place. If you send your information, or Ms. Bonilla, can you make sure to work with Ms. Jordan to offline so that we can support her. Did you want to come off of mute to say anything, Ms. Jordan?
Hi, this is Miss Jordan here. Good evening, everyone. The issue I was just having, I wanted to know was, it's just that the access that the school buses have to get to the school, we're on a very small block. And I believe actually Dr. McCoy visited our school last week. But it's just a very small block, and it's hard for the buses because they have parking that's in front of the school, and the cars park there all the time. And it's a main street in Queens, 150th Street. And their city buses have to come down it. That's how big. It's just enough for the city buses to come down. And it's so bad that the buses, it takes at least 10 minutes for them to even circle around. So they have to like stop in the middle of the street because the cars are parked in front of the school to pick up the kids and also drop off. It's like it's like a hub. We're over there in Jamaica. It's a hub of traffic. Yes, understandable, but the cars block right in front of the school where the buses need to pull up. So if you can just direct me, and I could just, somewhere where I can address the issues and see if we can have this matter, because it affects the traffic also. And if we can just have the space for the buses, the traffic will go so much more smoothly. Thank you for listening.
I'm going to direct you still. Vice President Bonilla, can I still direct you, Ms. Jordan, to you, and then you bring that full circle back to the council as we uplift it to the district to make sure that we hear these issues out? And also we have our council
putting the emails in the chat for.
Thank you so very much. For any other parents, caregivers on the line, d75council@schools.nyc.gov. Ms. Dowling, I see that you have here, how can we get more therapists and therapy services? We do have shortages in OT, PT. It's a lot of different things, but we can give you more in-depth answer from the district as we're trying to work on these shortages. If you want to email us so that we can have more information for your particular site, we can try to assist you in that space as well. Do we have any additional questions or considerations from our parents in the chat? All righty, guys, seeing none. Always know, d75council@schools.nyc.gov. We are always here to serve you. We do want to go ahead and give you your time back. Council members, if there is no new business or unfinished business, do we have a motion to adjourn?
This is VP Gomez. I motion to adjourn the calendar meeting at 8:43 p.m.
Do we have a second?
Rebecca Alley, second.
All righty, we have been motioned and approved at 8:43 p.m. The Citywide Council for District 75's calendar meeting has come to a close. We are now releasing our interpreters. Thank you so much to the district. Thank you so much to our DAO representatives and council members for your attendance. And also, again, thank you for the district for our gratitude dinner. We appreciate the collaboration that you gave us tonight. Everybody have a wonderful holiday season. We'll still be here in the background, but we will check in again with you in the new year. Watch for us on CCD 75 Outreach on YouTube if you have missed any meetings. Have a great night. Stay warm. Good night, everyone.